Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. It is early morning. It's not even 6 o'clock yet. Been out starting some laundry, got the chickens fed for the morning, and today we are summarizing. So I don't even think that's a word, but I'm going to make it one, because a lot of you winterize and get ready for the winters. We need to get ready for the summer. We need to put down some mulch over fall last year. One of my clients has this huge tree, and I had collected a lot of leaves, and I was going to use them in my compost throughout the summer. But I thought, I'm going to actually, there's dried out now, I'm going to break them down and I'm going to use them as mulch over the soil to help keep that soil moist and cool. I think it'll help our soil a lot, and over time it's going to break down. So I'm going to do that for the soil. For the plants, we are going to put up our shade cloth, and we're going to have to get inventive with a couple different places around the yard where we have plants, where we don't have trellising systems. And then we also need to, we finally got the parts for our Hess Air that had broken down, and it hadn't even been a year since we had it. We have terrible water here, and so it calcifies the motor, it seizes the motor. And we even had our trailer osmosis system to soften that water, and it still seized that motor. I just couldn't even believe it. So we're going to try a new thing. It's going to be a little bit more of a headache until we get the piping in the way we want it, but we are going to use our home water softener to fill the tank, and I want to try that out today to see how long that tank will go with the water in it. Because we may need to put it on a timer for when I'm not home, and if that thing runs out of water, it could burn the motor. Because usually we just have it hooked to the hose, and as it, goes down and depletes, it just automatically fills it. So we're not going to do that this year. Those things are very expensive, and I want it to last, and you only get 1 year warranty, so if it breaks down again, all those parts won't be under warranty. We had to get the new blade, or fan blades, the motor, and then the nuts, the bolts. I'll show you they're special bolts, and they're very hard to get off of the motor when they seize on there. So I had to have them send me new ones because we couldn't even get it off. So we're summarizing. But anyway, it is so early outside. I don't want to be talking outside and waking up my neighbors. So I'll have the camera going to kind of show you guys what we're doing, but it'll be quiet. Except for the chickens, of course, they're never quiet.
Hey you guys, I'm not sure if this is going to work. These are bags of leaves. I laid out a tarp. I'm going to dump the leaves onto the tarp. Then I'm going to use my mulcher to mulch them up. And then I'm going to lay them out on the beds. Let's see if it works. These are like the first 2 of 6 or 7 bags. just to stomp on them. I'm gonna try it. That doesn't really break them down. Alright, I gotta think about this. Mulcher is working, but I just have to take little bits at a time because it easily gets clogged in that cone. So it's going to take a minute, but it'll be worth it. See how this is looking. I'll show you where it's going to go. Okay, so we don't want to put it in any of the pots because, well, we could put it in pots. You don't want to put mulch, wood mulch, in pots though, because it can get mixed into the soil, and then the mulch can actually steal nitrogen from the plants. But the leaves will just break down and the worms are going to love it. I had one more thing that I wanted to do, actually, before I even put down the leaves. I got some coffee grounds from the coffee shop, and I wanted to spread those around too. We're really trying to build up the soil. You want to worry more about the soil than you do the plants when you're doing regular gardening. You want to feed your soil. I've got coffee grounds here that I am just going to take and put my hands in here, and I'm just going to spread it around all of the raised beds and in as many pots as I can. I don't have that many, I only have 3 bags. But this is great nitrogen for your plants, and the worms love it too. So let's get this done so we can get back to the leaves. Okay, I am learning. The mulcher is working, but I was going too fast. So number 1, slow down. Second, I had everything on the tarp, and the mulcher kept sucking up the tarp. So I just put it on the ground. The mulcher does not have enough power to suck up rocks and things like that. It just sucks up the lighter things. So still working on that. We've got this whole bed. Look at that. I was telling Tom the worms are going to be in absolute heaven. There's 2 of their favorite things in these raised beds, which is leaves and grounds, coffee grounds. You know, the coffee grounds also, besides the worms liking it, they both, the leaves and the coffee grounds, just feed the soil. The leaves have a lot of beneficial nutrients in them. They might be dried up, but they still have nutrients. Okay, so we're still working on that. And this is what Tom is doing. He had last year, we were using these for our, excuse me, we were using 4x4s for our thing where we were putting the, boy, I'm at a loss for words today, where we are putting the shade cloth. Today, he needed something that was longer because we have more pots. So this is a what? 4x6x16, and he wanted it by 14. But we're just going to cut some of this off, and we can use it as a wedge for something. So he's getting these done while I am getting these leaves prepped to go in the rest of the raised beds. And say hi to the crazy bees. We have this bird feeder, which keeps running out of water. And then I have this one over here. I need to pick the chamomile again, you guys. That I just had the base on, and it kept running out. I had the base, and then I had a couple rocks in there, and it kept running out. So as much as I hate cleaning out that tower because it keeps getting algae in it, the bees need water. So we filled that up, and now they will have plenty of water. I want to see how much it depletes by the end of the day. So right now, it is right at the neck. And that's at 10 gallons. Thank you.
You guys, we're getting into the summer months. So mom and dad are putting up a shade cloth over the garden. That Arizona sun is just damaging.
Brutal.
It's brutal, yeah.
Okay, does that go all the way down? Spectacular. Thank you, Dave and Matt.
Alright, so now I gotta get the wood onto one side so we can pull it tight.
We got enough on both ends. Summerizing, S-U-M-M-E-R, summerizing. I think it should be a word. All right, everybody. It's the end of the day. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we are just wiped out. We got all of our summerizing done as much as we possibly can. There's only so many things that you can cover up. So as soon as I'm done watering the crazy bees, I'm going to take you around and show you what we got accomplished. Over here, we had bought this umbrella, and not a month after we bought it, made out of plastic, the wind came through here. I think we got a microburst, and it totally just demolished it. So we've tried to salvage it. We put a piece of PVC pipe in there and put a bolt in there. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to bring it up and down. But we're hoping that it will cover this back wall where we've got those elderberries. There's that one right there. And if you look towards the bottom, the top looks terrible. But if you look towards the bottom, there's babies coming in. And the stevia or salvia, it looks really wilty right now, but it bounces back every day. We've got some pepper plants in here, and the salvia does a great job with giving things shade. I even have I think it's broccoli plant right here that's gone to seed, but I'm just going to leave it here to help block some sun. And then in the back corner of this is our other elderberry, and look at it's putting on some flowers. Isn't that pretty? I've never had an elderberry plant, so I'm not sure what to expect, but the salvia is just beautiful. So that's what we did on this bed. And then look at our self-seeded plants here. I just love these sunflowers. And over here, Tom had bought another umbrella to try to cover our huge pot. And this is the best that we can get that covered. Now we did lose a few of our plants, and there's a couple that look really sickly in here today. Right now, I just today took some catnip that had self-seeded itself in the ground in the raised bed, and I pulled it and put it in here, hoping that that also creates a little bit more shade for these other pepper plants, because we lost 6 of the pepper plants, but 3 of them are doing really well. One of them's trying to hang on. And back here, we lost the 7-pot white, but that straw flower right there, let me zoom back out here, right there, is getting ready to open, and it is shading another pepper plant. So we just leave it there to create a little bit more shade. The eggplant I'm not too worried about because it can handle the sun. And those 2 pepper plants there seem to be holding their own, so we're going to leave them alone. Now, the big thing that we did was the middle raised bed garden. Again, thank you so much, Matt and Dee. Dear friends of ours that moved, and he was getting rid of the shade cloth and asked me if I wanted it, and I was like, oh, absolutely, yes. So that covers the whole thing. And when we need to get in there, we just go in the center. And then Tom, I had showed you where he had put the horses down, and then he put these huge boards there. Then we got the shade cloth on, and then we took these boards, pulled it as tight as possible, and then he drilled those in. So that'll keep everything from whipping around when it gets windy and destroying the shade cloth. So that was a lot of work, but the plants are going to be a lot better protected with that. And then what else did we do? I took one of the chicken towers and I filled it with water, and we're in between 8, that's where we're about 9 gallons. So they went through about a gallon of water, and so that's keeping that full so they don't run out of water. And then I put some water in that lid right there, and the girls have been enjoying stepping in that during the day and cooling themselves off with some water. As the temperatures get higher, I will actually, when I leave for morning for work, I will be buying ice, and I'll have ice in my ice chest, and I will be putting ice in that water so that it stays cool for a while, for them to be able to step into to cool off if they need to. I can always tell when they're getting way too hot because their beaks are open and it's very quiet in here. And right now they're making noise. Yeah, and their beaks are closed, so they're okay. And over here where our tomatoes are, we took another shade cloth and covered up all the tomatoes. And with this one, it was higher than just that shade cloth. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but I inverted another one and cut it down so that tomato plant wouldn't get smushed. And then so that the cage would still cover that. It can't go any higher, but it's safe where it's at. So that was that one. And then the grapevines kind of help to shade this area here. That's another one of the catnips that I tried to do today. And now it's getting hit by that full sun. So let's look over here on this side. Look at all the pears that we got coming in, you guys. So much fun. Okay. So if we want to get in, we just push that up and crawl in. Well, we don't crawl in, but you know, we go under that and go in that way. And then we've got bird netting up, trying to protect some of our trees. And then you saw me earlier today doing all that mulching for the beds. So we got the mulching done in the center, and we've got it done in this bed here. And then to shade these plants, you can see the sunflowers are kind of shading all of these plants that are below it. So very happy that I put the sunflowers in here. They're definitely doing the job that I wanted them to do. The beans are loving having that shade. So those are doing well. And then over here we have the same thing going on. This one doesn't get hit as hard by the sun, and you can tell also because the plants aren't growing as fast. But we got the leaves down. That's a pole bean right there climbing up that pole. And then look at that beautiful chocolate sunflower. And then over here we have another sunflower and the Jerusalem artichoke. That's just going to town. And then we have the little pepper plants here with all the leaves. And then we have soaker hoses under that that'll keep the soil moist also. So I'm thinking we've done just about as much as we could do. Let's go check under here real quick. We've got some tomatoes that are ripe in here. Well, not quite ripe, but I'm hoping I can keep them on the vine longer and that the birds won't be able to get to them now at this point. And there's some more right there. And then see, all of those plants over there are all protected. And the same with the other side. And we've got down the mulch to help protect the soil. We've even got our petunias in here. I do think that I'm going to pull the lemongrass over here also though, because it's struggling a bit right now.